But if it were me, I would wait till I'd put the handlebars on, then wait till I had the front wheel on, wait till I had everything else done, and then they could set on it and get exactly where you wanted at, and then just tighten these up. So you have those tightened up. So we've got our brake done, we've got our rear shock done, and we have our handlebars on. When you're putting these together, you'll notice this little valve coming off the exhaust. It looks like it belongs somewhere. It belongs nowhere. That's for EPA emissions to get them through the country. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and zip tie this up here to keep it out of the way. You don't want it to be sitting down in the motor somewhere where it can melt. So we'll just take a little zip tie and tie it up to our spark plug wire. To get it out of the way. Alright, so that's out of the way. Now what we're going to do is put our front wheel on. First thing you need to do is come down here to your front wheel where your brake caliper is for the disc brakes and take out the plastic little wedge that's in there. That's just to keep it from pinching up while it's getting shipped. So we take that out and discard that and throw it away. Then we're going to get our front axle bolt out. You should have your front axle. You should have two spacers. One is a little bit longer than the other. And then you should have your nut that goes on the end of the front axle. 11/16 wrench, 14mm wrench. We'll grab our Loctite and put the front wheel on. Now, when you put your front wheel on, the easiest thing to do is to take your front axle bolt, put it in this shock right here, the bottom of the shock, and push it so it's out of the way. That way it's just sitting there for you so you can have a hand freed up. Then you take your spacer. We're going to put the smallest spacer in the disc brake side. And to do that, all you do is set it in there. It'll come out. It's not going to lock in there, but you just set it in there. Once you do that, you just roll the wheel back into it. Make sure that that disc brake goes into that brake caliper. And then I'm going to advance this axle bolt about halfway through the wheel. So my wheel's sitting in there. So now I have my spacer, my small spacer on the disc brake side. I've got my bolt going through it. Now all I need to do is finish by putting my larger spacer, same thing on this side, tuck it in. And then you can just turn the shock a little bit. See how that shock turns? Turn that shock, slide this in, and start moving it up and down until you get that bolt through. Once you get that bolt through, it should slide all the way through, and your bolt's through. Take your Loctite, some good Loctite on there. Put your nut on. Go ahead and tighten it down. Okay, we got that tightened down. Now our last step on these is putting the front fender on. The screws are already in here. Dave, I don't know if you can get underneath there to see that or not for one. There's 3 screws right here. Right here. I believe, I'm going to find out for you, but I think they're a 6mm. We're going to take those off. The front one here is a screw, so we'll take that off first. Now, I apologize. I really should have probably put this fender on first. If I was at home redoing this for you, I would go ahead and put this fender on first. Then put your front wheel on, because the front wheel won't get in the way of putting the fender won't get in the way of putting the front wheel on. I'm just going to take these out. Back. It's an 8mm socket. Alright, got that off. Going to take our fender, just put it back under here. Put your screws in. Alright. Put our Phillips head in the front. And then we'll go ahead and tighten those down. You'll check your tire pressure on the dirt bike, put your stabilizer in it, your Startron in it, fill it up with gas, and there's no battery on these. You're going to kick start it and get riding on it. Just don't forget to change out your shipping oil after about the hour worth of riding on it. And you can check out the prep video on it also. So that's the TAO TAO 90 dirt bike assembly.